Kannappa. The famous pilgrimage center of Sri Kalahasti is near Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. Originally, the whole area was covered with forest and hardly anyone knew about the existence of a linga there. Only one devout Brahmin used to go there once a fortnight to worship the Lord. One day, a tribal boy happened to pass through that part of the forest while hunting in the jungle. The moment he saw the linga, he was intensely attracted to it. The boy's name was Kannappa. From that day onwards, he started visiting the place, spending time with the Lord and innocently prattling to him. Every day he hunted animals and brought their meat for the Lord to eat. He would offer it with love and the Lord would eat it. Then he would return the next day for the same purpose. It struck him one day that the Lord would need a bath too. There was water in the nearby river, but how to get it here? So, when he had prepared the meat of the animals, he started putting it in 2 leaf plates. Carrying them in both his hands, he would go to the river and fill up his mouth with water and come to the linga. There he would puff the water out of his mouth and wash the linga. Then he would offer the meat that he had brought. He derived great pleasure out of this worship. After a fortnight, the Brahmin from the village came to do his regular puja. He was an educated man and knew the method of puja according to the Shastras. When he saw the dried up meat offerings and the linga full of the spit of some unknown forester, he shuddered with revulsion. He could not leave the Lord in such a condition. He cleaned the whole place and brought plenty of water from the river and washed the linga again and again. Then he chanted the purificatory mantras and concluded his puja for the day. He hoped that such a thing would not happen again. But his hope was in vain. Kannappa was so devoted to the Lord that he could not remain without doing his puja to the Lord for even a single day. Thus, when the Brahmin returned after another fortnight, he was pained to see the polluted condition of the Lord. Again, he patiently cleaned up the whole mess, did his puja, and went back. Thus it happened a number of times. The Brahmin was in tears to see this unholy pollution every time he came to worship. Weeping bitterly at the dirty condition of the Lord, he prayed, O Lord, you are the purest of all. You are the holy of the holies. Why do you allow this impurity to be done to you? You are the protector of the whole world. Please protect yourself from all this. When the Brahmin prayed sincerely out of true devotion, the Lord spoke, Brahmin, do not grieve. The devotee who offers this puja is pure at heart, though he is ignorant of the sacred ways of the Shastras. I am bound to him by his pure love. Therefore, I accept his puja. It is now time for him to come. Hide yourself behind the tree and see how devoted he is. Then you will understand why I cannot refuse his offerings. The Brahmin hid himself behind a tree, from where he could see the Lord and the surrounding area clearly. After some time, Kannappa came with his mouth full of water, carrying 2 leaves containing the meat. He puffed the water from his mouth over the linga and offered the meat as usual. But that day the Lord didn't eat it. Kannappa was surprised and begged the Lord, but still the Lord did not oblige. Kannappa was baffled. Why wasn't the Lord taking his food as usual? As he looked intently, he found that the right eye of the Lord was red and that the water was oozing from it. Then Kannappa knew that the Lord's eye was hurting, which is why he did not eat the food. Kannappa ran into the forest and brought all the roots and leaves used to cure eye complaints. He applied them one by one. Instead of getting cured, the eye became worse and blood started streaming from it. Now the boy did not know what to do. So he plucked out his right eye with the sharp end of an arrow and similarly plucked out the sick eye of the Lord. Then he inserted his own eye in the eye socket of the Lord. The eye was now cured. The happy Kannappa offered the meat and asked the Lord to eat. But then the left eye of the Lord started dripping blood. This time Kannappa did not run about. he plucked out the left eye of the Lord. Before taking out his own left eye, which was the only eye he had now, he lifted his foot with the chappal on and put it near the Lord's left eye so that he would know where to put it in the Lord's face. Then he took out the arrow to pluck out his left eye. At that moment, the Lord came out of the linga and gave Kannappa darshan in his real form, preventing him from plucking out his eye. With a glance, the Lord restored Kannappa's right eye. He called the Brahmin from his hiding place. The Brahmin, lost in admiration for the absolute devotion of the boy, came singing the Lord's praises. Thus, the Brahmin and the tribal boy both came to be blessed by Lord Shiva. It was not the manner of their worship that brought them the benefit of the Lord's grace, but the devotion behind it.